good day. We have the great honor and privilege of bringing to you the Philippines HR guru, Ernie Espinosa. So you took the time out to register and be here with us. And the good news is, after this quick preview of our really relevant, timely topic of toxicity in the workplace, it could be from leadership, from coworkers, or from customers, in fact. So the good news is, after this, you can also enroll in the longer version where our esteemed Philippines HR guru, Ernie Espinosa, will explain in detail how this can be neutralized in the workplace. And we welcome him back, but stay tuned because we will be sending you all the details about this longer version of this webinar. So here comes our really esteemed Philippines HR guru, Ernie Espinosa.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much, Dina and her son, Dino, who have been very gracious. No? And I'd like to welcome past PMAP President Jerry Plana, a good friend of mine, who is in the audience right now. Now, my topic is identifying and addressing toxic leadership in the workplace. And on page 2, you will see my credentials. I don't have to talk about them, but just go on and read about them. No? I'd like to start off by talking about certain caveats here. No? Number one, I'd like to think that this topic is very sensitive. So for the most part, I will engage in real talk. No, I guess very few HR practitioners would resort to this kind of approach because they are either shy or they would not like to hurt other people. And there is a saying that it's better to be kind than to be right. I agree with that, but I also believe that in talking about sensitive topics like this, we should not sweep the dirt under the rug. And I also like to believe that if we are friends, I will tell you what you need to know, not what you want to know. Now, 20 years ago, I used to participate in the very first HR chat group of Job Street. And at that time, I can say that whenever we talked in the internet, everyone was speaking in English. But lo and behold, 20 years later, in most HR chat groups, majority of members are now speaking in Tagalog or Taglish. So whatever happened to the HR profession? And indeed, the word has really changed because of technological advancement. With all due respect, if we say that 20 years ago, most HR chat members were smart, can we say that 20 years later, some have become dumb? And 10 years from now, some of them will become dumber. And 10 years more later, they will become dumbest. So what gives, no? Behind this backdrop, we can say that many HR practitioners have become onion skin, okay? Very sensitive. Some of them even suffer from mental illnesses. And because of the toxic work environment, some of them get burned out, and some of them are even hospitalized, coupled with the fact that many business owners are not fully aware of the labor code provisions. So behind all this, I would like to think that we would be in a worse off situation 20 years later from now. And I'm no Nostradamus to predict that, but I'm pretty sure. It is no wonder then that on both sides, we have employees who are onion skin, very sensitive. Some of them even commit suicide if they are reprimanded or they are called out. And on the other hand, the bosses, the small, medium-sized companies, business owners are toxic. They are abusive, no? This is the background that I would like to emphasize, no? Now, what is really a toxic work environment? A toxic work environment is where bosses abuse their power. So we are answering the what portion, no? This is disturbing in the workplace and to all the employees. And what are some of the manifestations? How do we spot toxic leadership? By means of their demeanor, no? So some of them are arrogant, childish, cranky, know-it-all, smart aleck, cannot handle criticism, intolerant, impatient, and all those characteristics. Now, without looking at my slide, no, I once read 2 articles that talked about toxic leadership and the classification of some of these toxic leaders. One classification is, one of them is called a narcissist. So he feels that he is the most important and God's gift to mankind. And then you have the critic. who is judgmental and who has the tendency to bully. And the third one is the aggressive, who is rude most of the time. But behind this rudeness, he will say that he is only joking, or the employee is too sensitive and cannot take on any suggestions that he has. The other classification is that there are what we call withholders. They do not praise, okay? They do not consider the success of other people. And then you have hijackers. They thrive in the vulnerabilities of employees, and they take credit for all their successes. The third type is the victim, who bumps in the road, and this is to confirm that he is in fact being targeted. Then you have the martyr, yung sinasabi sa Tagalog na pasan ko ang daigdig. And finally, the gaslighter, who would not see anything right. So when you see the slide, no, you see 5 signs of toxic work environment, fatigue and all, etc., etc. So what happens is, because of the toxic work environment, the leaders are feared, employees are demotivated, they are unhappy, the environment is unhealthy, you have a high turnover, and as the saying goes, employees don't leave bad jobs, they leave bad bosses. Next. Now, how do we deal with toxic work environment? No? We have to practice humility. Okay? We have to develop a sense of empathy. We have to be open to criticism. And of course, patience is required. Tolerance is required. And you can see all this stuff about dealing with toxic work environment. Just read them, because all of them are self-explanatory. And given the fact that I'm here to just talk for 15 minutes, we can proceed with the next slide. This is a term that I borrowed from my HR group co-founder, Jig Blanco Oriarte, who is the Vice President for HR and Training of Global Business Network. Okay, in a nutshell, it is the feeling that anybody can talk, express himself or herself, give ideas without being questioned or reprimanded. And I think this is a good start in all companies to make sure that you come up with a kind of culture that is focused on psychological safety. In other words, we need not, as bosses, retaliate if, let's say, a certain employee is vocal. For as long as that employee is respectful, is kind, is humble, is fair, then the atmosphere of psychological safety must prevail at all times. Lastly, I made sure that we talk about constructive dismissal. So what is constructive dismissal? Constructive dismissal is when the employee has no other choice but to resign because he or she is being placed in a harsh environment. Okay? And if you are placed in a harsh environment, like for example, you are being embarrassed in front of other people, or let's say you took a maternity leave and when you came back, you don't have any more job. Or for 3 months, you were not given a salary. All of these are reasons why the employee will resign. But here's the point. The way to go when it comes to constructive dismissal is that when you resign, you should indicate the reason for the constructive dismissal in your resignation letter. Okay? So it will lend credence to your case of constructive dismissal. And give a copy or send a copy to the president, to the HR manager, or even to the union president via registered mail. Or supplement that with even sending all these copies to via courier. Okay? So that you will win the case in case you file constructive dismissal. And make it a point that even before you resign, you come up with affidavits. And together with other employees, you should be able to indicate what really happened in the workplace so that this will be corroborated by all employees so that you have all the documents to win the case. So I think I was able to use more than 15 minutes, and that ends my presentation. And I will be willing to answer your questions anytime. Thank you, Dino.
Now, let me just advise everybody that this is, again, you just heard the Philippine HR guru, Ernie Espinosa. He is an esteemed colleague who has gone all over the world and shared his immense knowledge and wisdom. And so take heart, because you can easily get Ernie's full-length version of this webinar, because we can just give you the different dates and times when Ernie is available to do this. So for those who are interested, all you need to do is send us your comments through the Facebook page of the Speakers Bureau or the Leaders Edge Show room, and we will get back to you. And even if we don't get it, we will automatically send you the list, the different available times and schedules of our esteemed guru, Ernie, so that you can catch up. And there's so much more to learn. You know, I can tell that Ernie had so much more to say, but he respects the time that was given to him. So he did not want to go beyond the time that was allowed to him. So that's okay, Ernie, because they will be sending your questions to you very soon. And also, we will be scheduling different webinars. Depends on the company. They may want to join a public webinar, you know, face-to-face, or they may want to just do it online with you. Again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us. And from the virtual stage, our one and only, our really special, very special HR guru, Ernie Espinosa. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Ernie.
Dino,